Hello everyone, for today's video we're going to discuss negative and zero exponent. So let us start by discussing why x to the power of negative 1, for example, is equivalent to 1 over x. Or if we have 4 raised to the power of negative 1, why is it that it is equal to 1 over 4? Now let me show you the connection between those two quantities. Why is it that they are equal? So for example, if we have x cubed over x to the 4, so applying our log exponent in dividing, so we have x cubed minus 4, which is equivalent to x to the power of negative 1, since 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Now, how about if we were going to solve this example in another way? We're going to solve this one by means of prime factorization or factoring. So we have x cubed over x to the 4 is equivalent to x times x times x divided by, we have x to the 4, so that is equal to x times x times x times x. Then we cancel out all x. So that's 1, 1, 1. So 1 times 1 times 1, that is equivalent to 1. Now we have 1 times 1 times 1 is 1 times x, that is x. Now as you can see, the same problem but solved in a different way. That's now, therefore we can say that x to the power of negative 1 is equivalent to 1 over x. That is why we come up with this. Okay? How about 4 raised to the power of negative 1? Why is it that it is equal to 1 over 4? For example, we have 4 squared divided by 4 cubed. Okay? So that is equivalent to, so 4 is multiplied twice, so we have 4 times 4 over 4 times 4 times 4. No, 4 is multiplied 3 times by itself. We can cancel this one. So what is left is 1 over 4. Right? Or maybe we can multiply directly. So 4 times 4. If you're not convinced with this 1 over 4, you can try another one. So 4 times 4 is equivalent to, it is equivalent to 16 over 4 times 4 times 4, that is 64. Okay, then we factor out. So 16 over, we know that that is 4 times 16, 64. So still 1 over 4 is the answer. As long as you get the idea. So we have, what is it that 4 to the negative 1 is equal to 1 over 4. Okay, let's try another example. Now what if we have 2 raised to the power of negative 3? So that is equivalent to 1 over 2 cubed, which is also equal to 1 over 2 cubed. So 2 is multiplied 3 times, so we have 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 is 4 times 2, that is 8. That is 1 over 8. So we can say that 2 raised to the power of negative 3 is equivalent to 1, 8. Okay, another example. How about if we have x to the power of negative 2, x to the 5th, so what will be the value of this one? That's equal to x to the power of negative 2 times x to the power of 5. That is equivalent to, remember that in multiplying variables, we simply add the exponents. So that is equal to negative 2 plus 5. Now, negative 2 plus 5, based on our video about integers, if they have different sign, get the difference between the two numbers. So the difference between 5 and 2 is 3. Since the bigger number is positive, so we have x, and we put 3 as positive. Or we can solve this one in another way. So x to the power of negative 2, that is equivalent to 1 over x squared times x to the 5th. So x to the 5th times 1, that is x to the power of 5 over x squared. So no more negative exponents, so that is x to the power of 5 minus 2. Applying the law of exponent, which is equal to x to the power of 5 minus 2 is 3. So the same answer. Now let's talk about the zero exponent. Say for example, we have a squared divided by a squared. Remember that they have the same exponent, the same variable, and the same exponent. So applying the rule of exponent, we have a squared minus 2, which is equal to a to the power of 0. Okay. Or we can solve this one in another way by factoring. So we have a squared over a squared is equal to a times a over a times a. We cancel out, put 1. So that is 1 times 1 is 1 over 1 times 1 is 1. So 1 divided by 1 is equal to 1. Therefore, we can say that a to the power of 0 is equal to 1 because they are the same problem solved in a different way. That is the reason why any quantity or variable raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. Any quantity or variable. Say for example, if we have 2x squared then raised to the power of 0, still that is equivalent to 1. X to the power of 0 is also 1. 1/2 raised to the power of 0 is still equal to 1. Basically, any quantity or variable or number raised to the power of 0 is equal to 1. And last example, I will combine 0 and negative exponent. Okay, so we're going to simplify this one. Take note, we have 0 exponent and we have negative exponents. To simplify this one, a to the power of negative 2 is equivalent to 1 over a squared. Multiplied to b to the power of 0, which is equivalent to 1. And we just copy c cubed, or c raised to the power of 3. And then, in the denominator, we copy a cubed, then b squared, and c is negative, raised to the power of negative 2, so we have 1 over c squared. Okay. We simplify. So 1 is multiplied to 1 and multiplied to c cubed. So c cubed multiplied to 1 times 1 in the numerator. So we will have c cubed over a squared as our numerator. Then under, we have a cubed times b squared times 1. So we have a cubed b squared all over c squared. Now, to simplify further, we're going to take the reciprocal of the denominator and proceed to multiplication. So we have c cubed over a squared multiplied to the reciprocal. So we have c squared over a cubed b squared. Now, c cubed times c squared, we simply add the exponent. So we have c to the power of 5 over a squared times a cubed, that is a to the power of 5, and we copy b squared. So that is our final answer. Okay, so I hope that you learned something about negative and zero exponent.